Hey guys, this is HDDesign back with another tutorial, and in today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to make an image like this in Photoshop. And as you can see, it's a nice kind of effect that you can make in Photoshop, and what you're going to need to do is go ahead and download the brushes that are in the description. And the brushes that you download are these ones here, and the link's in the description, so go ahead and download them. So go ahead and open up Photoshop. And the size I used for this was width 600 and height 900. So I went ahead and opened up a stock image. So I was going to go ahead and find the stock, and it's in here. And here it is here. So what I did is just go ahead and drag it in here, and I resized it. So for this I actually added in a black border on the bottom. So what you want to do is come down here to the rectangular tool and make sure it's selected to black, and go ahead and draw your black border on the bottom. As you can see, I did it right here, and this is where I place the text. As you can see, it's not as big as what it is in the one now, but it's fine. So as you can see, the difference between the two stocks. So I went ahead and I think I first off did was exposure, and I added in around 288 is what I have on now. We can play around with that, and that's on the offset on the exposure and adjustment layers. And I added in some exposure, just a small bit, and same with gamma correction. You don't want to overdo it, so keep it small enough. So if you want, you can pause the video right now and you can take down these settings, or you can play around with it yourself depending on the color of your actual stock. It's going to be different for you. So what I done after that was I went ahead and got on my brush tool and made a new layer above the exposure layer, just for now anyway, and I selected whatever brush I wanted to use. So you can keep playing around with this until you find the brush you want, and I'm going to use this one. No, this one. So I went ahead and selected white as my main color for this. And as you can see the parts on the top. So what you want to do is actually get a soft eraser, or whatever size you want, and you start erasing around the parts you don't want. And just go ahead and do it real quick. So what you want to do then is make a new layer again, and go back to your brush tool and select another brush. And what you're going to do is keep on doing this until you get a nice effect on your image. And you want to make sure you make a new layer for each of them, otherwise you'll start erasing over your old layer that you've just made. So be careful you don't do that. And I'm going to pause the video now, and I'm going to try and make a half decent one, and I'll come back after. Okay guys, I'm back, and this is the result I've got so far. So as you can see, all these layers are on white, and I've just made a couple of layers. I think, yeah, just 4 layers. And what you want to do now is just go into your options, and you want to select color overlay, and we're going to set it to a yellowy color. And you can change around the color for each, it's slightly varying from each of them. Keep it on orangey kind of yellow, and just do it for the last 2 layers here. So there we go, and if you want you can keep adding more and more, but I just have this one done really quickly for you guys for this tutorial. So what you want to do now is you want to get a new layer, go to your brush tool, and you want to select a hard brush around 2 pixels, depending on your stock obviously, and then you want to go to your pen tool and zoom in close, and you want to do a quick outline. And for this one I'm going to do the outline of the guitar like I did in here. So you just get your pen tool and you draw around the guitar like this. I'm just going to do this real quick, guys, so I can save time on this tutorial. Obviously you will be able to take your time and do this properly, but just for this tutorial I'm going to save time. And I'm just going to go over his hand. Right, after we've closed off the path, you want to right click it and click stroke path, and you want to click brush and make sure simulate pressure isn't checked, and click OK, and then you can go ahead and delete your path. So now as you can see, it gives a white outline around the guitar. It's a little bit rough on mine, but what you want to do then is go into the options on that layer, and you want to change the colour depending on what colour it is. I'm going to leave mine actually as white, and you want to give it an outer glow. You want to set this to blue, a light blue, and you want to play around these settings until you find a nice kind of glow. And we're going to go with that for now. So as you can see, it goes over his hand and it goes over here, and it doesn't do that in my other finished one, as you can see. So what you want to do is you want to zoom in close, and you want to select the lasso tool or the polygon lasso tool, and just lower the opacity on the layer so you can see through it, and you want to just cut it out. And again, doing this really rough again, but it'll do for this tutorial. And make sure you're on the layer where the outline glow is, and you want to click and close the path and then click delete on your keyboard, and you can deselect the layer. And we're going to do the same up here and down, and again delete. So now we turn up the layer opacity again and you zoom out. As you can see, you have the nice kind of outline effect, and it looks pretty cool. So after that, I added in my, what did I do? Oh yeah, I added in more layer adjustments. So you come down here to under exposure, and you overexposure even, sorry, and you go to your gradient tool. Sorry, I'm just going to do it slower for you. You come up to your adjustments layer, and if you don't have adjustments, by the way, it's in Windows and adjustments. Anyway, you go to your gradient map and select a gradient as this one here, which is the 5th one in, 3rd from the right. It's a preset one already in Photoshop, and it does this effect. But as you can see, that's too strong, so what you want to do is come over here to the blending options where it says normal and change it to overlay. As you can see, it's still a bit dark, so you change it to 40. And I'm not sure if I had it, yeah, I had it over. So as you can see, yeah, it just makes it kind of darker, makes it look nicer. And after that, I added in, yeah, the brush. So if you come back to the image real quick, I'll just show you what I'm talking about. As you can see here, underneath the guitar, it kind of has a ghosted kind of effect. So all I did to do that was I did a brush, and I used this brush here, which is the 1400 one, and I made a new layer, and that's not a new layer, so let's make a new layer, and I added this in as black. So I'll change the size real quick. I'm going to make mine 1800, and I just added it in like that. Now what I've done then was make a new layer, and this layer should be empty obviously, and you want to turn off the layer you just made with the brush, which is this one here. Make sure that's off. You go to this layer and you click image, apply image, and OK. So as you can see, that hasn't actually done anything, but it has made everyone, so basically pasted the whole image onto this layer. So drag it up above your brush tool, or sorry, your brush that you just made, and you make a clipping mask onto it. Again, it still hasn't done anything. So what you do now is just drag it down a small bit, and you erase the top. Sorry, this isn't clipping mask properly. I don't think this is actually the right brush I used, but you just erase a bit, making sure not to actually erase him, because then you'll ruin the actual ghost of the kind of effect. And we'll just erase there. And then I turn down the opacity to about 80. And as you see, that gives it that cool kind of ghosted effect. It might be a little bit too strong. Obviously you can spend more time, you can probably find a better brush actually to do it, but this will do for the tutorial again. And after that I just added in my text. So for the text, all I done was get out the text tool and you select whatever text you want. For this tutorial I'm just going to use we'll use a thicker font than that. We'll use this one, Coolsville. And that is tiny, I think. No, I don't know. Text. So power, and we'll just make that smaller. Again, I spent more time making my text for the other one, but just to save time, don't want to take up the whole day making this tutorial. I'm just going to use the same font throughout it. So what I done was turn off these layers, and I went to new layer again, image, apply image, and click OK. So I dragged this layer and put it above whatever text I was actually going to put on, and I used a clipping mask, and then I dragged it around until I found a nice spot on the actual image itself, and we're going to use it there, and go ahead and copy the layer again, turn on this layer, and same thing, clipping mask, and you move it around until you find a nice one. So we're going to go with that, and again copy, clipping mask. And then I just added in a couple of effects onto the actual text, something like a stroke, 1 pixel, and a gradient. Sorry, that's not gradient. Gradient. And I added in yellow, and I believe orange. And what I did then was color. As you can see, it adds in the color, and it's lowered the opacity a little bit. I did this for each layer, and it made it look like that. So guys, if this tutorial helped you, make sure you click like on this video, leave a comment on any suggestions for new videos, and be sure to subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching, guys.